So here's the deal. I suck at drawing realistically, at drawing animals, and at memory retention. But I'm not gonna get better at stuff by not doing it. So we're gonna do all three at once in this video, which is sponsored by Skillshare, which we will talk about later. But for now, we're going to begin with 5 images I have not seen that we will familiarize ourselves with over a very brief period. Me just looking at them briefly at the start of this video is all I get to see until I finish them later. And I'm gonna be doing them in order of complexity so that by the time I get to the 5th, it will have been 5 hours since I last saw it, and they're gonna get increasingly complex. Wish me luck. Starting with a kitty cat. Hello, Garfield. There's textures and color, and I really need to absorb that, but I also have more to see and try and remember. Continuing that theme of the oranges and greens complementing each other, but this time we've got more complexity, more folds and details and skin. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's so cute. Little green frog. Oh, cassowary. It's pretty, these things are scary. Okay, and last but not least, we have an eagle. There is a lot here, and now is the only time I get to soak it in. So I need to soak it in as much as I can. So I gave myself about 5 minutes. That sounds like a lot, but I know that by the time I start working on the first piece, all of the details I soak in of all the other ones are going to become a distant memory. Why I'm doing this, you guys love watching me be tortured, so let the games begin. All right, Garfield. Oof, it's left me already. Just thinking about the eagle. The head sort of just folded into the body. I don't recall arms. The eyes were really captivating, but actually they took up less of the body than I think. Oh, and there was definitely a chin thing. The ears were slightly outturned. Now, whenever I draw the upturn of this cat mouth, it always looks like a smile, but the face of the cat did not look like it was smiling. It looked like it was judging, as all cats do. There wasn't a lot to it, but I feel like that's enough to start with a color composition. Let's go. It's time to move on to color, which I wanted to do with pencils on the cat and markers on the background. And with both, it would be a real matter of just slowly building up. I quickly moved on to the markers of the background simply because whatever greenery behind it was so blurred. And while I'm most confident getting that effect with markers, again, it's going to be a matter of building up. Now, to my memory, the cat's eyes were a very similar green to the background, if just a little lighter and a little maybe murkier, slightly yellower. And I made sure to keep a highlight in there, even though I don't remember where it was or if it was there. But in my mind, all eyes need highlights. As I'm building up the oranges, I'm becoming more and more aware that I have no idea where the contrast was. Were there shadows? I really don't think there were shadows. I think it was a really sort of even lighting, but I also feel like images need contrast. How is it gonna look realistic if I don't have some depth? I have to say though, it's looking more like a cat from Cats than a cat, you know? There's something uncannily human about what I'm drawing here. Maybe the eyes are too close together, I'm not sure, but I'm doing the best I can. Hello from the future, sort of. This reaction to the reveal is actually filmed after the weekend. So it's been several days since I've even seen what I drew, let alone what I'm comparing it to. So let's start off by remembering what I drew. Oh my God. Yeah, there's something way too uncannily human about this face. This feels like a cat from Cats. I think the eyes are too close together. Even the mouth feels too human. Maybe it's too wide. Let's see how I did compared to... I thought I was an okay artist. What the f is that? Where did I go wrong? So obviously cats have little snouty looking things. It comes forward. The ears are way too small. Oh boy, not off to a great start. What did I do right? Composition, even my expression's way off. This one has that cat-like look of general disdain, whereas mine's just sort of like, hey, hi there. You wanna hang out? Maybe I'm just not a cat person, maybe. I'm a dog person. Now it's time to do the dog, who at this point I haven't seen in an hour and a half, so yeah. Okay, there was definitely jowls. I'm gonna try and keep it really blocky and go silhouette first. Oh, this is gonna be so much worse. Ah! Why have I done this to myself? Please don't expect wonderful things. You're already typing in the comments. Don't worry, I never do. Good. So as a bulldog, that feels pretty good for the ears. Folds in the skin, but there was a sort of almost like a V shape coming out about there, and there was more orange. I feel like it was like all the back there. You think you know what something looks like until you realize you don't. His back leg must have been visible, maybe, but why don't I remember it? Because I haven't seen it in an hour, and I was looking at 5 things at once. That feels like a pretty good start. Okay, let's go. Now, blocking the colors out with really light marker tones will lay a foundation that'll make it much easier to work on with the pencils in terms of getting the colors I want, but also not needing to overwork them. And this is the best that I can remember. The orange over the eye and definitely on the back part of the dog, marking out some of the folds of the skin, the front of the dog, which in my memory is lighter and shadowed in creams and warm grays, and then into the background with 2 prominent greens, the light grassy greens of the bottom half of the image, the darker background greens of the trees, and then the really dark earthy colors on the right to create a foundation I can add the earthy tones to darken up later. Honestly, as far as my recollection goes, I was pretty happy with how this was coming together. So it's time to tie it all in with the background, really just giving it a bit of a coat with the pencils to give it a bit more of that natural texture and also make it look a little bit more like it's sort of blurred and in the background by blending it all in together. I also recall the dark area on the top right of the image was sort of brambly. So I tried to allude to that in my shading with a bit more harsh edges and angles. I mean, I gotta say, I'm feeling so much better about this than the cat. It doesn't look like super realistic, but I feel like I probably did an okay job. As an artwork, I'm really happy with this. It's got this really nice vibe, children's storybook almost, but is it realistic? No, that's the cat. Compared to the dog. Oh, it's definitely based on the same image. Color position is pretty spot on. Obviously the warbles of where it is on the front leg were off, but like even a bit of white under the belly and the fact that the eye dragged out further along, that's pretty good. There's carryover here. I'm doing better with the dogs than I am with the cats. But, I don't know, maybe No. As an artwork, I'm happy with it. As realism and an exercise of memory, maybe not, but maybe, just maybe, I would have been better at that if I had followed a Skillshare class before doing this video. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with a wide depth and breadth of topics ranging from illustration, graphic design and photography to music, marketing, productivity and more. With thousands of creative classes in countless categories with a learn by doing approach where members can create and share their own projects with the class, get feedback from the community and the teachers. I've had my own classes on Skillshare for many years and in subjects I'm much more equipped to teach, such as presenting to camera, character design, anatomy, and more. The class by Shane Wise is really worth checking out, Drawing Realism Fundamentals, which goes through pencil pressure practice techniques and layer smoothing, understanding value and contrast, and loads more. All of that will be on Skillshare with some great educators and a great community to practice and get involved with to further your skills. With the first 500 people to use my link in the description will get 1 month of free Skillshare to use and enjoy their full range of massive educational content, classes, and more. So use that link in the description, check it out, supports the channel, and of course supports you and your creative development. Huge thank you to Skillshare for supporting this channel by sponsoring the video. Links are all down in the description. Otherwise, it's time to hop into our next challenge. All right, next up is the frog, and I am switching to watercolor paper for this one. There were a lot of anchor points for this one, but overall it was pretty straightforward. And now that I've said that out loud, I regret it. But let's go. Now, there was a long stick that he was holding onto. Oh, now I forget the angle. Was it like up or? It's fairly crucial. Oh no, I did speak too soon. Okay, I remembered his mouth had this straight vertical bit, and I had this bit underneath. And then, yeah, I definitely spoke too soon. I'm just gonna be drawing an alien now. I have no idea about what a frog looks like anymore. Oh no, it's all gone. It's all gone. I was confident in this one. I don't know what a frog looks like. Pretty straightforward. Was his arm like up? He had an arm over. Both hands were over. Pretty sure. I thought I had it. A cat and dog are easier because at least you generally have seen more cats and dogs. I don't look at frogs very often. Is that a frog? Is that what frogs look like? He definitely had like a little belly thing here. Do frog knees bend backwards? Was it like this? He looked like a Muppet. I don't think it was actually a Muppet though. I think it was a frog. Maybe when I start painting with gouache, it'll all come back. Let's hope for that. As I get started, I also remembered something else. I haven't used gouache for about 5 years. So we're diving in the deep end with this one. I mean, look, I figure it's basically halfway between watercolor and acrylic. So more water makes it watercolory, which I'm going for in the background, and less makes it acrylic-y, which I guess I'll do more to solidify the foreground. I started to get a bit worried because I didn't know how I was going to make a vibrant green stand out on a vibrant green. So I figured I'd start off with the orange. With the eyes and fingies done, I figured it was time to figure out that green, which I did by mixing a little bit more of a bluish green and just going even more bold than I did with the leaf. It seemed to work pretty well, and I think if I can add a bit of contrast and shading later, it might turn out all right. Then there's a matter of going through the rest of the piece and adding a little bit of that glisten and a little bit of contrast to see if I can make this look a little bit more realistic. But I mean, let's face it, my cartoonist tendencies have definitely come to the fore on this one. It's a very adorable piece, but my goal with this video has been realism and memory. Realism, not quite, but memory maybe. Let's see. Memory. Interesting. So actually, like, the leaf has like the slightly bluey green tone where the frog has a really yellow green tone. I've sort of swapped those colors around a bit. Composition and pose, I sort of got it. Obviously just not realistic on mine, but you know, the head tilt, even the fact that the bottom leg is underneath, obviously not going over the thing, but kinda there. Mine's like a derpy Kermit version of the original. You put them side by side and you can see one's inspired by the other, so I'm gonna take that as a win. Because it's only going to get harder from here, and I need all the wins I can get. The Cassowary. These things are like living dinosaurs. They're freaky. I really don't remember much of the background, but the Cassowary had a real big sort of bulbousy back, and it was sort of hairy down the bottom. The long red thing coming out of its neck, ending in these little at the end. The giant elongated that's feeling all right. That's feeling cassowary-ish. Not a sort of animal I see or think of very often, thankfully. Now, as for the environment, I have no idea. I might just be forced to be a little more impressionistic with the background and focus all my memory on the actual cassowary. Let's see if I can bring it to life. At the end of the day, I'm sure you'll forgive me for having more focus on the animal than the background, because after all, this is a drawing animals from memory realism challenge. At least that's what I'm telling myself to sleep at night. Now, the cassowary. So I'm sticking to the gouaches, as you can see. I think at this point it's more because I have it all out and because I'm enjoying myself. Whether it's the best choice for realism in this case or not, I'm not really sure. But it does enable me to get some really quick, bold coverage for the body of the cassowary, leading down into the rest of its silhouette. The next is a nice vibrant red, but the other colors I'm not sure. Like, definitely got a few vibrant colors around the neck and face, but I don't remember distinctly. The last detail that I know is missing is the evil gleam in their eye. They all have it. They look at you like they want to murder you in your sleep, and that's probably because they do. And all in all, I feel like I'm getting pretty close, at least to the cassowary I saw, and I might be entirely wrong. All right, so to refresh, this is the devil's chicken. Oh, cassowary. All right, let's start with colors. Brighter contrast on the back and on its feathers. I just went sort of black. Composition, I'm all right, actually. Even colors in general, I did okay. Don't judge if you can't do this yourself. Do you know what a cassowary looks like? See? You know, the essence of the picture is there. The evil, deathly eyes. I think I did pretty good. At least, like, you know, the feeling I get of dread from looking at it. There's some harmony there. So we are up to the lucky last one, but I'm gonna have to finish the eagle after the weekend. So this is really gonna test my memory. I'm not gonna say I'm confident. So the head is forward, and its legs are forward. Big wing action. Ugh, nah, I forget entirely. No, I feel like the head was even further forward. Oh my God, this is so hard. And maybe it was like more of a top-down view, which also tells me it's very blurry, which is good. I'm not getting real eagle vibes, but I'm trying to draw what I remember, not what I think an eagle looks like. And this is sort of what I remember. I actually have to go, I'm late. I guess the universe wanted the final challenge to be a proper challenge. So I'm gonna come back in 3 days for the color. This isn't giving me confidence. So coming back not so fresh after a whole weekend away, it's time to launch into the colors, and I'm just gonna color this whole piece in with pencils. I figure that will allow me to get the softness and desaturation of the background, which I think I remember, and the texture of the eagle, which I'm assuming is a little more feathery. I have no idea how I've done with this, no clue at all. It's been 4 days since I saw the image amongst 5 others that I only had a minute to look at, but it's also been a while since you saw that image that this was based on. So let's see how we think I did. Of all of my artworks, I unveil this and I'm like, oh, wow. Clearly the confidence is gone because I came in to do colors and I'm like, I don't have much to hang on to. Let's see, maybe I nailed it. Maybe I, oh yeah, there's white on eagles, isn't there? Yeah, it's like the whole thing, it's like the eagle's head. And brown. I did like no brown at all. Oh my God. I got so caught up on the few things I remembered, like this shape bowing out of the wing. Still not being quite right, but you know, like the legs overlaying the back wing and where the white is, it's tough. It's tough. And these are clearly not wheat. Mine's in approaching a wheat field. But if we entered this video to see if I could remember, even having looked at a picture somewhat recently, what an eagle looks like, what a cassowary, what a cat looks like, can I realistically depict them? Well, no. Did you get what you wanted? I don't know. When you click on a pitch like that, like the pitch is like, can I draw animals from memory? I don't know what a win is. Because if I can, then it's like, okay, well, cool. But the struggle, that I think is why you clicked, and you certainly got it. But it goes to show when you anchor yourself to like the 3 things you remember, the 30 things you don't are actually the image. But you know what? This was a fun exercise and it's taught me that if I want to learn to draw realism, I should probably be looking at the things I'm drawing and not rely on this ADHD brain with short-term memory absorption. Thanks for watching. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you've had a lot of fun with me. Subscribe if you had, for the chaotic and the ambitious and all sorts of silly, but whatever it is, it's nonsense and it's meaningful. Leave your comments as to what challenges you'd like to see me try below. Otherwise, that is it for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Skillchef for sponsoring. And until next time, I'll see you later. See if you can remember me until then. See, ready? See, try and draw me. You give it a go. It's not as easy as it looks, is it? It's fucking hard!